You are listening to the Love and Money podcast with Shakira. Today I'm going to talk to you about student loans. Will the Biden administration cancel student loans? So, the Biden administration has already canceled $3 billion in student loans. So, you may be asking, why do I still have my student loans then if they're canceled? Well, he's only looking at certain segments of the population. He's looking at students who have been deceived by schools that are out of business now. And by deceived, I mean they were lied to, saying that this college education would allow them to get a job or it would allow them to transfer their credits. But the schools were non performing schools and they are currently out of business. So the Biden administration has refunded 100% of their money, totaling $55.6 million. dollars. And so this went to three schools. And the three schools were students that attended Westwood College, Maranella School of Beauty, and the Court Reporting Institute. There is an additional school, students who went to ITT Technical Institute. So, for all of those students who were at the three schools, including the ITT Technical Institute, they have been refunded 100% of their money back due to deceptive practices of those schools, which are currently closed as a result of their deceptive practices. So, how can you benefit from this student loan cancellation? You may be asking. Well, members of Congress are still pushing the Biden administration to cancel $50,000 of student loan debt per person for those people who have federal loans. So they're still pushing the Biden administration to consider this $50,000 cancellation per student. Um, Biden, on the other hand, is considering a $10,000 cancellation per student. So none of that is in the works yet. It's still a struggle going on between the members of Congress and Biden as to whether they will cancel $50,000 or $10,000 or whether there'll be some kind of negotiation with that. So that's what's currently going on with that. And unfortunately, that only applies for students who have federal loans. Well, as you know, there are a lot of students out here with private loans. And so this cancellation, they aren't looking at people with private loans and they aren't considering students with private loans, even though the vast majority of students have private loans. So they're currently looking at the federal loans right now. $50,000 versus $10,000 versus somewhere in between. So that is what is going on with the the student loans. And so, like I said before, this would not extend to private loans if you have private loans. If you do have a lot of student loan debt, you can always refinance your loans to lower the interest rate and as a result to lower your monthly payment. However, you want to be careful when you refinance because some companies will not allow you to have the protections that you would normally have with a federal loan. Like for example, with a federal loan, you can always call and get a forbearance. You can always call and get it deferred if you're having a difficulty time paying. However, if you refinance, that's generally with a private company, and some companies don't allow you that kind of protection. So if you get into a spot where you're not able to pay, you may not have the same protections that you would have with the federal loan. So you just want to make sure that you ask a lot of questions ahead of time before you refinance. Make sure you ask about if you will be able to keep your protections and what the differences would be when you would refinance. So don't only just look at the benefits of refinancing, which are lowering your interest rate and lowering your monthly payment, but ask about the protections and um, ask about some of the cons. Don't just look at the benefits. And then just make sure you read any information that you can if you decide to go that route of refinancing your loans, and read all the hidden prints. Make sure you do your due diligence. So that is what's going on with the student loans, the student loan epidemic. Um, some people have been complaining that they are so loaded down with debt that they have not been able to buy a home, buy a car, get married, invest. Um, People are complaining about those kind of things. So just wanted to give you a heads up, let you know what they're working on in Congress, what they're considering and what they're not considering. So this is the Love and Money podcast with Shakira. If you like this podcast, please share it with one other person. And please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps the algorithm. Thank you for listening.